Carol Burnett refused to work with him, a decision that quietly echoed through Hollywood for years and revealed far more about her character, values, and professional boundaries than any public statement ever could. Known worldwide for her warmth, comedic brilliance, and legendary generosity toward fellow performers, Burnett built a reputation not only as a groundbreaking entertainer but also as someone who believed deeply in respect, collaboration, and emotional safety on set. Throughout her long career, she worked with countless actors, writers, and producers, yet on rare occasions, she drew a firm line, choosing integrity over opportunity when she sensed behavior or attitudes that conflicted with her principles. According to those familiar with the situation, the refusal was not rooted in ego, rivalry, or creative disagreement, but in a pattern of conduct that made Burnett uncomfortable and unwilling to compromise her values. At a time when many performers felt pressured to tolerate difficult personalities to protect their careers, Burnett's stance was quietly radical. She understood her influence and used it not to dominate, but to protect the environment she believed creativity required. Colleagues recall that Burnett valued kindness and mutual respect above fame, and when those elements were absent, she saw no reason to proceed, regardless of how prestigious the project or powerful the individual involved. Her refusal sent a subtle but powerful message within the industry. Success did not require silence or submission. Burnett's career had already proven that longevity could be built on talent paired with decency, and she was unwilling to tarnish that legacy by associating with behavior she found unacceptable. The decision was never dramatized publicly, largely because Burnett herself avoided confrontation and spectacle, preferring quiet distance over public condemnation. This discretion allowed her to maintain professionalism while still asserting control over her working conditions. Over time, stories of her refusal circulated privately among industry insiders, reinforcing her reputation as someone who knew when to say no without burning bridges. Burnett later reflected in interviews that comedy, at its best, required trust, vulnerability, and joy, and she refused to place herself in environments where those qualities were undermined. Her choice also highlighted the emotional intelligence that defined her leadership, particularly as a woman navigating a male-dominated industry where asserting boundaries often came with consequences. Rather than seeing refusal as weakness, Burnett viewed it as self-respect, understanding that creative energy flourishes only when people feel safe and valued. Younger performers who worked with her later describe her as protective, encouraging, and deeply aware of power dynamics, traits that likely stemmed from moments like this one. In retrospect, Burnett's refusal appears less like an isolated incident and more like a reflection of her entire philosophy toward work and life. She believed laughter should come from connection, not cruelty, and that no role or partnership was worth sacrificing one's sense of self. The industry may have moved on quickly, but her decision lingered as an unspoken example of ethical professionalism. By choosing absence over compromise, Carol Burnett demonstrated that true influence does not always announce itself loudly, but often resides in quiet, unwavering choices that shape culture from behind the scenes. Her refusal was not about rejecting a person, but about affirming her values, and that distinction is precisely why the story continues to resonate.